Hi, welcome back to the lecture. I just wanted to give you some final thoughts regarding cloud formation and let you know about some other tools that are available. And one of those tools is the AWS Cloud Development Kit, which at the time of this video recording is a relatively new way to build cloud infrastructure using code. And the AWS Cloud Development Kit is really more of a programmatic way to create AWS infrastructure. CloudFormation allows you to create infrastructure using a JSON or YAML based template. And that template, the code in that template really isn't, that's not really a programming language per se. I mean, it's really more of a templating language. It's very, very basic. The AWS Cloud Development Kit, on the other hand, allows you to use the full power of a programming language like Python or JavaScript, C# or Java to create cloud infrastructure. And it allows you to work with cloud resources as if they, are truly objects or classes within that programming language. And it's a very interesting way to create cloud infrastructure. I've just started working with the AWS CDK a little bit, going through some of the tutorials, and it's very, very powerful. And it might become one of the more popular ways to create infrastructure. It is definitely more complicated than creating a CloudFormation template because, again, a CloudFormation template is fairly basic. But if you need to create resources programmatically, then the CDK might be a really good option for you. And when you're working with CloudFormation, I think I mentioned earlier in one of the hands-on segments that, I don't memorize all of the different resources and properties that are available in CloudFormation. There's just way too many of them to memorize. And so when I'm building a CloudFormation template, I generally have a web browser open and pointed at the CloudFormation documentation. That I find is really important. I'll keep looking back at the documentation as I'm building out different resources just to make sure I'm setting the right properties and I understand the types of values and so on. And in this PowerPoint screen here, I've got 3 different links that might be useful to you. One of them is the AWS CloudFormation Best Practices Guide. The second is a link to the AWS CloudFormation documentation. And then the third links specifically to the resource types in the documentation. And those are so important because it's you're basically, when you're building a CloudFormation template, you're building out, dozens and dozens of different resources, and so you're kind of constantly looking back at the documentation to understand how to configure them. I hope you find this information helpful.